Brett is with us in Pensacola. Hi, Brett. How are you?
Very good. Thanks for taking my call.
Sure. What's up?
I have more of a psychological problem than a financial problem. Growing up, we didn't have a whole lot, and I have saved as much as I can, and I'm at a point in my life where, I think I'm okay, but mentally I don't feel like I'm okay. I guess most people who invest never really feel like they've got enough. So that's kind of my problem.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And how much do you have in your nest egg?
Well, if you add up all my investments, about $2.5 million.
About $10.5 million?
No, 2.5.
Okay. All right. Good for you. And you started with nothing, you said, right? You grew up with nothing?
Well, I got out of the military in 85, and I had two nickels to rub together.
Yeah. So how old are you?
I'm 56.
Cool. And what do you make a year these days?
Well, it always varies between $250 and $350.
Okay. And what would be an example of something that you think a normal person with $2.5 million, as if that's normal?
Well,
but what would a normal person spend money on that you psychologically don't feel like you can?
Well, it's funny. I mean, I talk to a lot of people, and I've searched out many a website, and then I came across your show, which I just learned of not long ago. And, you always want verification, I guess. Is it enough? Some people think, $10,000 a month is enough, $15,000 a month, $20,000 a month to live comfortably.
Mm-hmm.
You just don't know. So I'm quite frugal. I probably drive my wife crazy calculating our finances twice a month at least.
So what is the biggest luxury item you guys have bought in the last 5 years?
What's the biggest luxury item? I have a Porsche in my garage.
Oh, okay. What, like $100,000?
A little more than that.
Cool. What's the biggest thing she's bought?
Her Range Rover. She's got a Range Rover.
Okay, so you got a couple nice cars. Okay, so you don't have any trouble spending money on cars.
No, that's one weakness I do have.
And it's not a weakness. You're in good enough shape to drive both those cars. I would drive those cars if I were in your shoes. I think that's fine. So here's the thing that I have figured out as far as enjoying money. There's and someone from what you're asking me is how can I enjoy this? How do I know if it's enough? Because I can't enjoy it if I don't think it's enough.
Correct.
But if I heard you right, that's what I was hearing. And that happens a lot to those of us that started from nothing. In my case, I started from nothing, became a millionaire, and then went bankrupt before I was 28 and had to start again because I'm stupid. So so I kind of have that fear in the back of my head, that black cloud psychologically hovering around in the back there, like, oh God, this is gonna. And and if you don't think I do, you ought to ask my wife. She's got a bigger one. She's like, I don't know if we can afford that or not. And I'm like, darling, we can definitely afford that. It's just, but so the thing that's helped me do that is I have learned that I can allow myself to enjoy money easier if I'm doing two things. One is my generosity is high. If I'm giving, then it's okay for me to drive a Porsche. That helps me enjoy the Porsche more. I think if I was stopped up and I wasn't ever giving anything, not helping anybody with any of the money, then it would be harder to enjoy the Porsche. Okay? And so, like, I drive I've got several really nice cars. I'm a car geek. And so I've got ridiculous money in cars. But as a percentage of my net worth, which is the second thing, and as a percentage of my giving, even though they're really ridiculously nice cars, like you have, you got wonderful cars. But, as an example, in your case, you've got, let's say, $170,000 worth of cars, $150,000 worth of cars sitting there. And if you give away $3,000 a year, then that's going to make it hard for you to enjoy those cars. And so generosity factor in ratio to what you're enjoying, whatever it is. If you travel and you're going to spend $100,000 on travel and you only give $2,000 away a year, it's going to be harder to enjoy the travel because you're becoming a hedonist. You're becoming inward facing, and selfish and greedy kind of a person, even though you didn't mean to. But generosity helps break that down in your spirit and keeps your soul a little cleaner. The second thing I look at is I look at ratios. And that's what I'm doing with your cars. $170,000 worth of cars as a percentage of $2.5 million is nothing. If you took those cars out in the front yard...
Actually, I keep the Porsche in the garage, and I drive a Range Rover as well.
Yeah, but if you took all your cars and put them in the front yard with no insurance to set fire to them, your life really doesn't change. Your life doesn't change. No. It's a small enough percentage of your world that it's easy to enjoy because you're not out of line. But you take a guy who's making $60,000 a year and has a negative net worth with student loans, and he drives a $50,000 car, and those guys are all over America, right? And see, that not only makes that car stupid, but it makes it harder to enjoy because the ratios are out of whack. He's got too much of his life tied up in luxury things. If a girl's got a ring on her hand and that is the entire couple's net worth, it's harder to enjoy that ring. Where Sharon is like, she's got this ridiculously wonderful ring, looks like a headlight. But when we got married, she got a .23. It wasn't even a full fourth of a carat. That one's in the safe because it's nostalgic. But it wouldn't even show up around the ring that she's got now. And I'm not bragging. I'm just saying because we've worked so hard, you and me both, for so many years. If my generosity is up there, I find I can enjoy a portion of my wealth. And if it's a small portion of my wealth, small enough, then I can enjoy it. We can go on a luxurious trip that costs more than we used to make in a year back in the day, And you could
do that right now.
And you could too, you could too. And it's still
very difficult.
While it's a high percentage of your emotional memory, it's not a high percentage of your current world. And that allows you to enjoy it. So hold on, I'm going to send you a copy of the only book I've written on this subject, wealth. All my other books are on money. The book I wrote on wealth is called The Legacy Journey, and I'll warn you ahead of time, it's a Christian book because it's the only way you can view wealth and keep it in balance. And so it's the only book I've written that's exclusively Christian. And if you're not Christian, you really won't enjoy it. So throw it away or use it for a coaster on your table or something. But I think you'll get something out of it. Hold on, I'll send you a copy of it.